Ciao a tutti e benvenuti a questa session dedicata a LSE. Io sono Ilaria e lavoro appunto alla Cattolica International. Abbiamo qui oggi Rob che è il nostro referente per quanto riguarda appunto questo programma per i summer programs e quindi se qualcuno di voi è proprio interessato nello specifico per quanto riguarda questo programma, direi che siete nella session giusta. Ora vi informo che la registrazione, che questa presentazione è registrata e se avete domande potete farle direttamente alla fine di questa sessione in italiano a me, in modo che io le traduca, ma sono sicura che molti di voi masticano perfettamente l'inglese, quindi potete farle direttamente anche a lui. E se avete domande vi chiediamo cortesemente di aspettare la fine della sessione, così appunto da permettere al nostro collega Rob di presentare al meglio il programma. So, hi Rob. I don't know if you, hi, okay. I gave a quick introduction, so I think that we can now start.
Great. Okay, I'll just
Thank
share
you.
my slides. Okay, just want to check that you can see the slides okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Okay, well, thank you for the introduction. I'm Rob Eggleston. I work for the summer school team as University Relationships Manager. So it's my role really to kind of look after our partnerships with universities across the world. And one of those is with UCSC. It's a very long-standing and very successful relationship, and we're delighted that we've been such a popular choice with Catholic students over the years, and it's great to be here now presenting to you, and thank you for joining us. So the session today is going to give you a quick summary of the program. I've probably got about 20-25 minutes worth of content just to kind of summarize what summer school offers you. We'll then leave a little bit of time at the end for questions and answers, so that you kind of feel well informed, ready to go off and get your applications started. So on to LSE itself. Hopefully you being here now means you've got a bit of an understanding of the university and what we do. But to give you a brief introduction, it's a university that's got a really long and distinguished history. Last year, in fact, we celebrated our 125th anniversary. So in that time, we've established a really strong global reputation for excellence. So we are always ranked extremely highly in terms of social science universities. And we actually have 13 LSE disciplines placed in the global top 10 by QS World University Rankings. So we were founded back in 1895 with the aim of contributing to the betterment of society. So that's really very much at the heart of what we still do now. We aim to make our teaching and our research really practical and relevant to the real world. And you'll see that in the types of courses that we offer. We've been based on our current site in London since 1902, and we're really close to the city's financial and legal centres. So the kind of the legal heartland of the city is right next door. I can see it out of my office window. We're just up the road, about a mile away from the UK's seat of government at Westminster, close to kind of really vibrant theatre and shopping areas. So it's a really fitting location for the university, given our active role in current affairs. So another distinctive trait of LSE is our really strong focus on international education and our international outlook. We've got many students who are key influences in areas such as global finance and economics and public policy, and a huge international network of students. And actually, within the UK, we're one of the most international universities in terms of our student body. We're proud to be affiliated with some really notable alumni. So that includes 18 Nobel laureates who've either taught or studied at the school. Most recently, we had a couple back in 2016. One of those, the Colombian president, Juan Manuel Santos, who won the Nobel Prize for Economics in Nobel Peace Prize in 2016. And we also had one of our economics professors, so Christopher Pissarides, won the Nobel Prize for Economics. We've also had a really large list of world leaders study at the school. That includes a young John F. Kennedy. He was with us back in the 30s. We've had presidents of India, prime ministers of the UK. We've had leaders who've been their first female leaders of countries. So Dame Eugenia Charles, for instance, Dominica's first female leaders. And beyond politics, again, we've got a really long list of notable alumni. So we're quite famous for the amount of billionaires that have studied with us. So George Soros being one of those philanthropist and billionaire investor. And we've had a lot of very successful and pioneering women come through the school. So one of those actually is our current director, Dame Manoush Shafiq, who studied with us and has now returned to the university to act as director, and actually has had a very successful career in finance and economics in between. So at 36, she was the youngest person to ever work as vice president for the World Bank. So it's a university very much with a distinguished history in terms of our academic achievements and our alumni. And it's a tradition of excellence that we carry on to summer school. So summer school itself, it's a really long-standing university summer program. We were founded back in 1989. So as university summer schools go, it's a really kind of long-standing tradition of excellence that we have. And in that time, we have grown to become Europe's largest summer school. So our last pre-pandemic program in 2019, we had almost 9,000 enrollments across the summer. This summer just gone, 2021, of course, things were different. There were lots of challenges with international travel. We still had close to 2,500 enrollments this summer. So it is a really large-scale program, and we feel that reflects its popularity and the fact that we get lots of word-of-mouth recommendations from students who've been before and had a really great experience with us. And the program is about making LSE's world-class teaching accessible to a global audience. So in that way, given the size of the audience we reach, it plays a really key part in the school's mission to educate for global impact. And the program offers you the best of LSE. So, of course, that is expert teaching. It's a globally relevant and very intensive curriculum. But beyond that, we also run professional skills workshops and a really vibrant and busy social program to help you make friends and explore London. So I mentioned just now our 2021 program. It was the first time we'd offer summer school online and in person. So we gave students the chance, and it was great in terms of making sure we could continue to reach that global audience. So of course there were ongoing complications, but we feel with the current direction of travel generally opening up despite the blips, currently we plan to offer summer school in an in-person format only next summer. So that's given you the chance to come to London, a fantastic student city, and experience the LSE campus. Okay, so onto these students. So, of course, the heart of what summer school is all about. It's a really diverse body of students that we have join us. So you'll see some statistics on the page there to give you a sense of what kind of student we welcome onto the program, but really it's difficult to capture because we have such a wide array. So the majority of students are current undergraduates, but we also have good numbers of postgraduate students join us and working professionals who've already graduated and are coming back to experience the classroom again. So we're really pleased that summer school has appeal on an academic level for students who want to boost what they're doing at their home institution, but also as well that it's a qualification that can enhance a professional CV. And that really actually is one of the motivations for a lot of the students who join us, even if they're current students, to come and do courses in an area that they might be thinking about in terms of their career steps. And what it creates in the classroom is a really rich environment, because you've got that mix of ages and experiences. So it's a great opportunity to kind of increase your exposure as a student. So a second part of that diversity is the massive array of nationalities that we have join us on the program. So I mentioned earlier that we're Europe's largest summer school. So obviously with that kind of large student body comes huge diversity. So in 2021, despite the program being smaller, we had 90 nationalities. We had over 500 universities represented amongst the students. So it's a fantastic opportunity from a study abroad perspective to get that international exposure and to meet people from different cultures and educational backgrounds. So on the right there, you'll see some university names. So that's based on enrollments over the past few programs in terms of where we get particularly large groups there. So obviously UCSE, one of those from within Europe. But you'll see there's some really distinguished names, and that really reflects the appeal of the program. It's recognized by leading universities globally, so we get a really high standard of student joining us. Okay, onto the program dates next summer. So summer school runs for 9 weeks, but we split that into three-week sessions. In a single session, you can take one course. So one course lasts for 3 weeks. So we have many students, probably the majority of students, come for just one session, and they can choose which session suits them in terms of dates and university or professional commitments. But we do have a really good number who come for 2, and some as well who come for the full program duration. So you'll see when you go onto our course pages that some of the courses run in more than one session. It's the same course. It's just that some of the courses are so popular, we offer them twice to make sure that we can give as much availability as possible. Okay, on to the academic program. So these courses, they run for 3 weeks, but they are based on existing LSE modules and assessed to the same high standards. So we restructure them to fit them into that 3-week period. So what you're covering in 3 weeks is what an LSE student would normally cover over a full semester. And you'll see there the subject areas that we offer. LSE is rightly famous for economics. We're ranked globally in the global top 10 for economics, but actually LSE's strengths go way beyond that. We are ranked top 10 globally for accounting and finance, business and management, geography, law, politics. So it's really wide array of specialisms that we have as a university, and specialisms that are reflected in the summer school course offering. So we have around 75 courses, or just over 75 courses on offer next summer, and they're split across the 3 weeks, and they're also split into 3 levels. So we have 100 level courses, 200 and 300 level courses, and that reflects how advanced they are. So a 100 level course, we kind of typically say that would be equivalent to something you might do in your first year at university. A 200 level course is intermediate. 300 level course is something you might study in your final year of undergraduate studies or first year of postgraduate studies. And on the screen there, you'll see a sample of some of the courses that we offer. Just to again emphasize, that is not all of the courses. We're offering over 75 next summer, but there's some course titles there just to give you a sense of the types of courses that we offer. And as I mentioned earlier, you'll probably recognize there that these are courses that, of course, have a great degree of academic rigor and appeal, but as well you can probably imagine that we get a lot of people who are coming to do these courses because they are courses that will have a really direct benefit in terms of someone's CV when they're looking towards their professional career and the next steps after university. And the courses themselves, to cover in 3 weeks what LSE student would normally cover over a full semester, it means they're intense. So that's something we don't hide from students. It's important that students know that, but that needs to be the case to make sure that we can teach you with the same kind of rigor that you should expect from a university like LSE. So that involves 54 hours of teaching time over 3 weeks. So really extensive contact with teaching staff. That's split into 36 hours of lectures, and that's usually 12 3-hour lectures. So long lectures, you get a little break, a comfort break in the middle, and then 12 seminar classes. So they total 18 hours in total. And the seminar classes are when you break into smaller groups, usually of around 18 to 20 students, and they're typically more kind of interactive and discussion based. So on the screen there, you'll get a sense of what a typical day might entail. Perhaps a morning lecture for 3 hours, so 10 to 1 is usually the time slot. You might have then a seminar in the afternoon, say 3 to 4:30. Things will vary depending on the course. Some courses will have a morning slot for their lectures, others will have an afternoon slot. But in a normal day, you'd have 4.5 hours of teaching. We'd also expect you to be doing some independent study to keep on top of your work. So these can be busy days in terms of your academic commitments. You might be doing 5-6 hours in a typical day. But we find time and time again that students are really disciplined, and one of the reasons for that is because how much is going on in the evenings and weekends, whether it's through the LSE Summer School social program or things you're doing independently. There's so many fantastic things to be getting on with in the evenings and weekends. So we do find that students are often very well organised and get their work done during the day to leave time to go and enjoy other things in the evenings. So during the course, you'll have formative assessment that will go on really throughout the seminar classes. For instance, if you're in a economics course, you might be working on problem sets and going through those in classes and be getting ongoing feedback from your class teacher. Typically as well, each course will have summative assessments, 2 summative assessments, where you'll get marked, and those marks will go towards your final grade. So that might involve, and this is the case for most courses, a mid-session exam in the second week, and then a final exam on the final Friday of the program, so in week 3. So two assessed pieces contributing towards your final grade. And then once that's all been marked and grades have released, we then get to work on producing the transcripts and certificates. So all summer school participants are eligible to receive LSE transcripts, and which is the document you use for things like credit transfer and job applications, and then a certificate as well, which is more like a memento or a keepsake. Okay, so during your time with us, you may be here for a relatively short period, but in that period, you're very much LSE students, and you'll get access to the same facilities that full-time students do. So we are a fairly small campus, right in the centre of London. So there's not much room for us to kind of expand. But what we have done over the years and continue to do now is invest really heavily in improving and replacing the teaching resources that we have. So you'll come onto campus and find what is a very modern and cutting edge campus with some really great facilities. So in the bottom right there's a centre building which was opened in 2019, and actually summer school students were the first people to do teaching and learning there, and that's a really fantastic space. It houses the school's directorship, so the leadership, and it's got a load of really fantastic panoramic views across London. So it's a really popular space for students who want to go and sit and do some private study by the big windows there and have really great views across London. We've also got a fantastic library. It's actually the world's largest dedicated social sciences library. So, and an absolutely massive array of resources that you'll find there, and that's something that you'll get access to as a summer school student. So the second strand of the program is the social program. So we know, of course, that it's a really important part of the study abroad experience. It is why many students choose to travel abroad during the summer, and we hear from students year after year that it is really an integral part of what makes summer school really special for them. So we have a really busy schedule of events. We have things running daily. So you'll see on screen there some examples of things. So they might be welcome receptions and walking tours to introduce you to kind of some of the historic sites in London and help you orient yourself. We book tickets for popular West End theatre plays. We have a number of parties. So particularly popular one is the Thames boat cruise, but we run a leaving party as well, where students get the chance to say farewell to the new friends that they've made. So that's a mixture of free events and ticketed events. And as I say, you'll get plenty of options, and it's a really great way, of course, to meet your fellow summer school students. So you'll do that on your course, but joining those social program events is a great chance to kind of expand your experience and meet people on different courses. And on screen now is a map of London. It's gives you a kind of a sense of how central we are. So LSE is that red block there in the middle. The small red dots are some of the LSE accommodation options that we offer students. So they're High Holborn is walking distance to campus, and the other ones you wouldn't walk, but they're relatively, in terms of London, very central. I mean, these would be places that people like me would love to live in because they're considered to be so central. So it's really a fantastic location from which to go and explore London. Maybe you recognise some of those tourist attractions that are displayed on the screen there, but Covent Garden, it's a very famous tourist area, very vibrant in terms of the cafes and the bars and the shops, and the theatre district kind of surrounds Covent Garden. That's walking distance. You could walk down to Trafalgar Square, across to London Eye, and other places you just jump on the tube or a bus, and those are things you'll get very quickly familiar with how to use. So as I say, LSE is really a great base from which to go and explore the city. So the third and final strand of the program, so we have our academic and social programs, and we also have our professional skills events. So that's something we put a lot of work into developing in the last few years, and it's in response to something that you'll know as students, but we all know and are aware that businesses are looking for graduates who can show more than just really strong academic grades. They're looking for people that have shown that they've taken a chance to maximize their university experience. So studying abroad is a great way to do that. Whether it's with us at LSE Summer School or wherever you choose to go, it's a great chance, of course, to show that you've exposed yourself to international networks, that you have taken yourself outside of your comfort zone and embraced new challenges. As well as that, we run a series of very practical workshops and events that are designed to give you a real head start in terms of your career. So it will be events like how to write CVs and cover letters that have a really good impact on recruiters at big companies. We have sessions on how to excel at interviews, how to develop your career strategy and plan. We have talks from entrepreneurs and people in different industries, practical sessions on how to build digital and data skills. And we also have some sessions that focus more on a kind of personal development and well-being. So things like understanding emotional intelligence or how to manage exam stress. So a really broad array of events and a great opportunity to enrich what you're doing in the classroom and socially. Okay, a few really brief application details for you, because one of the key things to emphasize here is that your starting point is with the UCSC International Office and their website. But in terms of summer school, we have actually just officially launched applications in the last couple of days. So really excited here, and we're starting to get a flow of applications in now. We design it to be a quick process on our side. So you put together the application. We need to see students' updated academic transcripts. Other than that, because we're a short course program, we don't need reference letters and personal statements or motivation letters from students. It should be a fairly quick process. In terms of entry requirements for us, one of the key things to flag is that 100 level courses, because they're introductory, don't have prerequisites. So a prerequisite is something you need to have studied as part of your home degree. Our 200 and 300 level courses, because they're more advanced, they will draw on subject material that you'll need to know. So these courses will require you to have a specific background, usually in one or two courses. So you'll find details about that on the individual course pages. So each of our courses has its own page on the website, and it has details about prerequisites on there. Otherwise, as I say, the key thing to emphasize to you now is to make sure that you are liaising with the UCSC International Office, and they'll be able to advise you further on practical things like costs and deadlines and eligibility requirements. Okay, a last couple of things is to flag, obviously, something I mentioned earlier, that LSE offers accommodation options. So it's not compulsory for students to stay in LSE accommodation, but it is a really popular option, partly because it offers relatively good value, given central London it can be an expensive place to come and stay. So we offer rooms across a wide array of budgets, and that the costs obviously will reflect how kind of nice or new they are in terms of the facilities, but we offer a range of options to suit different budgets. So they're relatively centrally located. They're really well set up to support students, and of course, one of the big things in terms of why they're popular with summer school students is it offers that chance to live alongside the people that you're on the course with. In terms of booking that accommodation, that is something that can only happen once you've applied and received an offer. So after that, you'll then receive further details about how you go about making that booking. Okay, last thing from me, and then we'll have some time for some questions. So summer school, as a really large program in terms of the students that we get, has a large program delivery. So we've got a team of program assistants who are there to give kind of student-facing support throughout the full stage of the program delivery. So through applications, the program itself, when we have an open office that students can come and drop into to have a chat and get advice or raise any issues they might be having, through to post-program when we support you with receiving our documentation. As well, through our partnership with UCSC, I mean, it's a role that I perform, that we can offer that institutional support. So it's really kind of on all areas. As a student coming to us from both on your side at UCSC and through us, you'll be getting plenty of support and guidance. During the program itself, I mentioned earlier, we offer some wellbeing sessions, and we actually have wellbeing support during the program should students need it. We have IT help desks, so really you'll get kind of support to make sure that an experience that is very fast paced, you arrive with us and get started straight away on a course that will fly by very quickly, but that experience that's very fast paced, you'll have lots of support to make sure you settle in smoothly. Okay, that's the summary of the program. Lots of information thrown at you there. So of course, if you need further details, I think a great starting point, as well as the international office, there is our website, which, as I mentioned earlier, has got really extensive information on our different courses, but as well further details on the social professional skills programs, accommodation. So it's a great resource to find out more if you have any questions, and of course we would welcome you getting in touch with us as well. Okay.
Thank you very much, Rob, for taking your time and for this presentation, which was very nice and very complete. So thank you very much. And I will give now some time for student questions. So if you want to write them in the chat, we will definitely read them. And if you want to switch on your microphone also, we're pleased to answer all your questions. Don't be shy, guys. It's a great opportunity to have Rob here, so feel free to just ask some questions regarding everything. And if you don't want to ask in English, just write in Italian and I will translate it for you.
So I saw the question pop up there in terms of how many questions, how many courses can we choose? So you may have something to add to this, but from our side we have 3 sessions, and you can only do 1 course per session because you just wouldn't have time to fit in 2. So from our side you can do a maximum of 3.
Esatto ragazzi, sì, potete scegliere, generalmente per quanto è lunga la session, potete scegliere comunque solitamente, i corsi che poi volete farvi riconoscere qua in Italia. Comunque sono generalmente 2 corsi per quanto riguarda LSE. Where can we find the details of the courses? On LSE website. I think they're already available. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, but yes.
Yeah.
When all the details will be on our website, you will find the link that will just go to LSE website where you will find all the details.
And just to add to that very quickly, if anyone went on the website even a few days ago, you wouldn't have seen all the courses that we're offering in 2022. So we ran a smaller program in 2021, and we are expanding it again next summer. So I'd encourage you to go back, if you've only just recently visited it, go back onto it, and you'll find some more course options there.
So I have one other question in English and then 2 others in Italian. So when is the deadline for applying?
So for us, we fill courses on a first come first serve basis. So we don't have a fixed deadline. I mean, of course, applications have literally just opened, so there is plenty of availability, and there will be for a long time yet. What's difficult, very difficult now, is to make any predictions about when courses will begin to fill because of the impact of everything with travel and things. In the past, we would see courses begin to fill as early as late February. It's obviously in 2021 that came much later because we weren't having this. We've got countries that weren't able to travel to the UK. So for next year, again, it's quite difficult to tell. But I think if you're applying really, by kind of March, April time, you should find that you've still got good availability. What deadlines on your side?
Yeah, there are deadlines on our side. So as Rob was saying, the first come first serve, but we will follow everything. We will just keep a general deadline that will be okay for every courses that you will select in LSE. So don't worry about deadlines. So Where can we find the details of the courses? So we have already answered to that question. We have now an Italian question. Ci sono requisiti linguistici particolari? Fare la magistrale in inglese è considerato valido? Come diceva Clara, la mia collega prima, la presentazione generale sui summer program, sono ancora dettagli che dobbiamo definire, però ti dico già che in passato questo, il fatto di fare la magistrale in inglese era considerato valido come livello, quindi non ti preoccupare, penso che proprio quest'anno sarà ancora valida questa cosa, quindi ti dico magari guarda bene sul nostro sito una volta che sarà aggiornato, però ti dico che non ci saranno problemi. Another question in Italian. Dobbiamo fare l'application direttamente sul sito LSE oppure tramite Cattolica? Allora dovete iscrivervi tramite noi, attraverso il nostro sito, e poi noi vi guideremo in tutti i passaggi per iscrivervi ai vostri corsi di interesse. Quindi i passaggi vi saranno poi più chiari una volta che il nostro sito verrà aggiornato. Comunque dovete iscrivervi al programma tramite noi e poi successivamente vi iscriverete ovviamente sul website di LSE, però ovviamente sarete accompagnati da noi anche in questo passaggio. Another Italian question, sorry Rob. Dobbiamo fare l'application di... ok, essendo in magistrale è consigliato seguire corsi dei 200-300 levels con prerequisiti specifici. Allora, per questo dipende un po' da qual è la tua facoltà. Ci sarà comunque la possibilità di guardare uno storico per quanto riguarda gli esami, e stai attento ovviamente, se immagino che farai questa domanda perché una delle tue principali preoccupazioni è quello di farsi riconoscere un esame, poi sarà una commissione che comunque ti approverà o meno questa tua scelta. Comunque otterrai poi tutti i dettagli successivamente. What level of English is required to participate? It's a B2. And it's for every summer programs. Are there any student association and clubs? I will let Rob discuss.
So I mean, LSE. I mean, like any university, will have lots of kind of student associations, but they wouldn't be open to summer school students insofar as in the summer, because they're run by full-time students. They typically have no activity going on in the summer, and because summer school students will be with us for a short course period, there just wouldn't be the time to turn around getting students involved in those and finding events to take part in. But as I mentioned earlier, we run a lot of things. So we have a lot of things going on in terms of the social and professional skills program, to make sure that students get a really good experience of LSE beyond just the classroom.
Okay, thank you, Rob. So we have another question regarding la certificazione FIRST è accettata. Allora, come vi dicevo prima, il nostro sito non è ancora aggiornato. Adesso sulla pagina troverete un link a cui vi consiglio caldamente di registrarvi, in modo che una volta che la pagina sarà aggiornata, riceverete da noi una mail con questa notifica e troverete tutti i dettagli, compreso anche quali certificazioni sono riconosciute. Ti dico, in passato il FIRST era riconosciuto come livello di inglese, però insomma, siccome dobbiamo ancora definire le ultime cose, è meglio se procedete comunque in questo modo. Are there English test interns in Cattolica for getting the certification? I don't get your question, but I think if you are talking about our placement tests for the level of English, yes, we do offer this kind of test for our students, also for applying to summer programs. Yeah, so don't worry.
Just to jump in quickly, so because if you went onto our website, you would find information about you need to provide, this for you. It runs differently, so that will be sorted out on your side. So you can ignore the bits on our website that talk about what you need to provide for English language.
Yeah, definitely. It's on us. So if you want to apply and you have to certificate your English level, as I was saying in Italian before, our website is still not updated, sorry. So but we will email you when it will be, and this information will be on our website too. So when you will have the possibility to do our placement test, so our test. Okay. So there are no more questions. I think we're running in time, so maybe we can wait just a few minutes to wait for other question, but otherwise we can end our session. So Giuseppe maybe has one other question.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I open the microphone, but it's kind of a
No, you
complicated
have to.
question.
Don't worry.
Okay, I just want to ask. I'm currently doing the first year of my master in economics. So most of the prerequisites for the advanced courses, I wouldn't meet them because I did the bachelor in a different field. So, for example, I did very basic courses for macroeconomics and microeconomics. But I will do them in the second term of this year.
So for recognition of exams, you can do it. I mean, what we advise to our student is to do while you're applying for summer programs. But it doesn't matter if you do later on. So if you are going to do this exam later, it doesn't matter. You can also propose a plan to your professor later. So don't worry. It's not a big deal if you do that later. I know students that have done that just maybe after 6 months they have done their summer courses. I don't advise you to do the same, but don't worry. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Just seeing that question from Bianca there. It's the UC website for the English requirements.
Yeah.
Okay, there's another question. Raffaele?
Yeah, I'm sorry, my keyboard's not working. I was thinking about living in London, about rooms or apartments. Are they included in the cost of the program, or they are something else? So we have to pay something else.
No, the price will be a total of the course or the courses you will follow and the housing as well.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Yes, and we have another question, Bianca. Yes, to answer your question, yes, it doesn't matter. You have done that in another university, as long as you have done the exam in the same field as the requirement. It doesn't matter. So we're just on time. Thank you guys for participating to this session, and thank you very much, Rob. It's always very nice to see you, even through a screen. So thank you very much.
Thank you for hosting me and for everyone to joining us today.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone. Thank you.